Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pogi Podcast, the one and only podcast of Dubai. In this show, we
Whoa.
will talk about everything related to science, from cells to atoms to molecules. My name is Kurt Balove, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we will be joining with interviewees, and they are Jet Cultura,
Hey.
Zal Ortega,
Hello.
and Andre Cruz. So, how are you guys feeling in this wonderful afternoon?
I feel good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, bro, I feel grateful, especially that you invited me here.
Yeah, I feel the same way too.
Okay, so let's go down to business, shall we?
Okay.
So first question for today from user 69. What is the development of atomic models that led to the description of the behavior of electrons within atoms?
The development of atomic models that lead to the description of the behavior of electrons within atoms was primarily found by, I think, Niels Bohr, where he modified the Rutherford's model by hypothesizing the electrons orbit the nucleus in specific regions of fixed sizes and energy.
But how do energy of atoms increase?
Oh, I can answer that question.
Go ahead.
Uh, I think the energy of an electron depends because on the size of an orbit, yeah, this means that the energy of electron increases as it occupies orbit farther and farther from the nucleus, right?
Well said, Zyle. So I would just like to add something. Actually, I learned this from my science teacher back in grade 6. So an orbit can be thought of as rungs of a ladder. As a person climbs up a ladder, they step on one rung or another. Likewise, the electrons of an atom can occupy one orbit or another, but cannot exist in between orbits. While in an orbit, an electron has fixed amount of energy. The electron gains and loses its energy by moving into one orbit either further from or closer to the nucleus.
I see. Hmm.
So about this Bohr guy, can you guys tell us, including the ladies and gentlemen, watching this podcast, something about him?
Oh, I can tell you something about him. Bohr was able to calculate the energy of the electron in a hydrogen atom by measuring the wavelengths of the light emitted in its light emission spectrum.
How about his atomic model? Can you tell us something about it?
Bohr's atomic model was very stable because the electron could not lose any more energy than it had in the smallest orbit. Although one major problem with Bohr's model for me was that it could not explain the properties of atoms with more than one electron, and by the early 1920s, the search for a new atomic model has begun.
Wow.
Bro, not gonna lie, but this Bohr guy is really impressive.
Oh, I agree with you for that one. So that is Bohr's atomic model. Let's move on to the next question. From user 150. How atoms combine with other atoms by transferring or by sharing electrons?
Okay, so can I answer this one?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
First of all, what is ionic bonding? Ionic bonding is a complete transfer of valence electrons between atoms. It is a type of chemical bond that generates two oppositely charged ions. In ionic bonding, the metal loses electrons to become a positively charged cation, whereas the non-metal accepts those electrons to become a negatively charged ion.
Oh, okay. So I get what is the meaning of ionic bonding, but how do atoms form bond exactly?
Atoms form bonds with other atoms by transferring or sharing electrons. The arrangement of electrons in an atom, particularly the valence electrons, determines how an atom can interact with other atoms.
Wait. Let me stop you there. I got a question. Why do atoms tend to combine together?
Hmm. I'm guessing because atoms form chemical bonds with other atoms when there's an electrostatic attraction between them. This attraction results from the properties and characteristics of the atom's outermost electrons, which is known as valence electrons.
Yes, that is correct. And covalent bonds hold atoms together because the attraction between the positively charged nuclei and the negatively charged shared electron is greater than the repulsions between the nuclei themselves. The result is a covalent bond with a shared pair of electrons between two atoms. The process is called nuclear fusion.
Oh, I see.
Wait. What is a nuclear fusion?
I can answer that one. A nuclear fusion is a reaction in which two or more atomic nuclei are combined to form one or more different atomic nuclei and subatomic particles.
Oh, I see. I understand now.
Okay, so we know what is ionic bond and covalent bond. But I think we could go for one more bond, and that is metallic bond, or the forces that holds metals together. So, who would like to explain metallic bond?
I can explain metallic bond. So metallic bonds, they are force that holds atoms together in a metallic substance. Such a solid consists of closely packed atoms. In most cases, the outermost electron shell of each of the metal atoms overlaps with a large number of neighboring atoms.
Oh, okay. So a metallic bond, in short, is a unique type of chemical bond found in metal elements.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Ooh.
Okay, wow! So, ladies and gentlemen, to summarize our podcast for today, we learned about the development of atomic models that led to the description of the behavior of electrons within atoms, which was primarily found by Niels Bohr, and we also learned about what's the meaning of ionic bond, covalent bond, and lastly, metallic bond. So that's all for today. We hope you had a great time with our podcast. Stay tuned for our next podcast only here on
Pogi
Pogi
Pod
Pogi
Podcast.
Podcast.
Podcast.